When I saw you guys,
yeah, in the park,
basically, I was like, oh my god, they're so nitty gritty. Like even the way you guys were sitting, like I was like, if I go there and I say, hey, how are you guys? I'll probably be shut down like that. What up, guys? Welcome to the next episode of Jouhzu, developing social skills to make friends. And I titled this episode, The Secret to Making a Good First Impression. I think this episode is really valuable and you should watch it more than once, because that's not something I would cover on my YouTube. I only do it for you guys who are my course and who are really serious about wanting to make friends and learning social skills. And instead of me telling you how to actually create a good impression, good first impression, I decided to actually interview a friend who I actually did a video about, who I actually approached in using my social skills, and ask him what impression I made, what the group thought of me when I entered the group, and what they have said about me after I've left. Just to give you a little run if you don't follow my YouTube. Basically, I went to the park, I saw a group of people, I walked up to them and actually approached them, and they invited me to come out into a party with them. Couple of weeks later, one of the guys I connected with asked me to come and hang out at his house, and I decided to interview him there and then and ask him, what was your impression of me? And this is what he said. What do you remember about when we met and how we met? And
I think the weather was really awesome.
Yeah,
we met with some friends. Yeah, to have like some food, and I'm not sure, but I think we made like barbecue. And me and Finn, we brought like a football. I think you came to Finn,
Yeah.
and were like asking Finn if you can join, and I didn't hear you asking, but I was like, okay, he plays with us, it's cool. And usually I think it's a really cool way to engage like a group.
Yeah.
Just to play with them, like throwing a ball, like kicking a ball, whatever, and it's not really that you engage them in a kind of way that is not appropriate.
Yeah.
And so I was not really thinking about it, and it was like, okay, he likes playing football as well.
Yeah.
It was fine.
Yeah. At that time I was so nervous. But I was like, hey, I have to do it, because when I saw you guys, in the park, basically, I was like, oh my god, they're so nitty gritty. Like even the way you guys were sitting, like I was like, if I go there and I say, hey, how are you guys? I'll probably be shut down like that. But not about the guys, but the girls. They were also like very reserved, I don't know. But when I saw you and Finn playing, I was like, I think they're probably the most open people. Like, this is, I'm making an assumption, like they look like they could be like the gateway for me to actually make new friends. What would you think if I actually went to the group itself? When you were sitting there and having a barbecue, what would you think? What would the reaction be?
I'm not sure. I think it would be a little awkward.
Yeah.
If just I think you got that pretty right, because the girls we were there, they're not like very open, and
Yeah.
I don't know. But I think it would be awkward to enter like a space where we just talk to each other and like have a good time.
Yeah.
But still, I think it would have been cool, because I think I was pretty interested in you in the first place, since you seemed like very like you had courage and like experience, and just like seeing a group and going there is like pretty strong and like courageous.
Yeah.
That's something I respect, and I would have been interested what you have to say and what your story is. And
yeah. Sometimes like it's to start a conversation is, I think, the hardest part. Like it's really hard to start a conversation, but once once you start a conversation and you realize that people are not, the people that you talk to could be open or friendly, then all of a sudden the nervousness and the anxiety goes away, you know, like it kind of like, with me, you know, like after I realized, oh, they accepted me, you know. And even when I actually joined your picnic, you guys offered me food, and so I was like, oh, that's so cool. You know, like, so you want some chicken and stuff, you know.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh no, that's. I felt really welcomed, you know, like by all of you guys, you know, like it was pretty nice.
I think you're pretty right if you say that the start is the hardest, because if you don't know a group or some people, it's hard to get in touch with them.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think if you did it, if you like got the entry you got with the two of us, it's much easier, because we invited you. It's something completely different to be like invited to a group, but to just go and try to join them on yourself. I think it can work, but it's harder.
It's a lot harder, and that's it's a lot, like you can do so much more wrong, you know. But if you vouch for me, it's a bit different, because people like you, you know, and if you like me, then they're more likely to accept. You know what I mean? Like, and I was like, yeah, it was pretty cool. Once I was in the group, how did I make you guys feel?
They were pretty interested, because you didn't speak German, and that's something I'm really interested in. If somebody joins a group and is from another country, and I usually like to know the background and how you decided to come here, or what the story is. And therefore I think I cannot really speak for the others, but what I heard and talked about with the guys afterwards, like everybody was pretty found it pretty cool that you were there, and that I think Mattes asked you about like the camera, because that's his thing and he likes it. Yeah, I think after you joined us, everybody was pretty interested and was happy that you were there.
Yeah, that's good. So what do you think, one thing I did bad? You have to say one thing bad, please, because I want to know, like, if you had to pick something bad, what would it be?
I'm not sure. Something bad.
Okay, then let's start with good then. Yeah.
I think if you join a group, the way you did, it was pretty good that you left and you didn't just stay there all the time.
Yeah.
Because in the end, it's cool. Everybody likes it if somebody new joins, but you don't really know what the reason for meeting for the meeting is. You shouldn't overstay, and you shouldn't like make it awkward if you'd like just join the group and after that you're with us all the time. So I think that was a pretty cool move, and I haven't thought about that before. To leave. How you leave is really important as well. I really like that. Not that you go, but
I left at the right time.
Because
I always like stress, you know, entry is important, but I think also how you leave once you have actually entered the conversation, like, it's actually more important, because it kind of can determine if you see the person again, kind of thing, you know. Obviously, I met all of the other people, really cool people, awesome. But for some reason, I felt most connected to him, you know? And I'm not sure why, because even his Facebook, I think I connected you and Finn. Why do you think, in the end, you and me turned out to be really good friends? Whereas the others, I'm friends with them, but I feel more acquainted to them. But with you, I feel like, yeah, man, it could last like a real, like, lasting friendship, you know? Do you know what I mean? Why do you think this is? What?
I think that was not something that I knew when we were meeting in the first place. Because if you really become friends, is something that has to develop. But I think we were having a talk about like traveling and something we had in common, and I really like to hear about the experiences of people who were like traveling.
Yeah.
And like to share my own as well. And,
Yeah.
I think we had a topic there we can really start talking about, and even I think it was the start. And when you were here, we like had some talk about politics and all this, and it like developed to many different topics. And I'm not sure if we like have the same views on everything, but it's not important because we are both like open-minded to the opinions of others.
Yeah.
And to something that doesn't necessarily have to be like our own views as well.
Yeah.
In the end of the evening in the cargo ship,
Yeah.
where we had like the party, we were sitting on the top and we just kept on talking, and it was not something I had the feeling was like we just talk about random stuff, but some really important things that are really important to me. And
Yeah.
I'm not sure but how we got there, but I usually don't talk to anyone I don't know about all the stuff we talked about, and I'm not sure what was the reason for it, but I think we had like some things in common, and we're open-minded. And
So in terms of like Facebook, why did you decide to answer my Facebook message? Sometimes, like I get people who I meet, like it's hard to meet them for a second time. What is it like?
I think it was easier because we already talked about what's going on in the evening.
Oh yeah.
Since I think Finn told you that he's like playing the music on the ship, and I was like, cool, you can come over. And I mean, we had like quite a lot of people here, and I like if we have like many people, many different people in the same room, because it's getting really cool then. And therefore I was not really thinking about it, but just like, yeah, come over, man. It's cool.
That was good. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Jouhzu. Just to summarize, when you see a group of people and you're thinking of approaching them, most people are scared because they see the whole group, but you never really approach the whole group at once. What you do is you look at the individual who looks the most open in the group, you walk up to him and actually get that person to introduce you to the other people. And that way they vouch for you. And then once you're a part of the group, don't worry about keeping the conversation going, because people are already interested in you. So they will help you. They give you material. They give you enough material to actually talk about. Once you have actually talked about yourself a bit, try and build common ground with each person individually and make plans for the next meeting there and then. One of the guys actually invited me to a party because he was DJing there. And I was invited. Last but not least, in fact, really important, is know when to leave. Leave when you feel like you are peaking. Leave when you feel as though you're having a good time. When everybody's starting to have a good time, that's when you decide to leave, because you want to leave them wanting more. You want to leave them wondering, that was a cool guy. Let's meet him again. And combined with actually having planned a next meeting, people will commit to it rather than doing it through text. So I hope this helps. Be sure to comment down below and answer the question that I'm going to put down in the comment section. When was a time where you could have engaged a group of people but you didn't because you saw the group as a whole? The second question is, what is the one thing you gain out of this video? How can you implement it in your own life? Until next time, until tomorrow, I'll see you in the next episode.